Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Wynn here with another episode, a long-awaited episode of Page and Print, where we look at a page of original artwork that I either drew and inked or inked, and we look at its printed counterpart. Today we're going to be looking at The Darkness, issue 4, page 18 by Michael Broussard and myself. Let's take a look at this gorgeous cover by Kenneth Rockfort. This was a Wizard World exclusive to the conventions, and it's also the only time Kenneth ever drew the Darkness. I don't think he ever drew him in sketches or prints or anything else like that. As far as I know, this was the only time. So, as of the filming of this, this comic and this actual page of original artwork are going to a big Top Cow fan that bought this over on the auction on Ethan's channel a few days ago. I don't want to give out people's names, but thank you, dude, if you end up watching this. Anyways, so what we got here, a page of image board. This is like really thick, like I think it's 3 or 4 ply. Most of the stuff you guys work on is 2 ply. This stuff is really firm, and it can take a lot of ink without getting wavery or without getting all messed up. So we used to load on the ink. And speaking of loading on the ink, here's a little thing here. You'll see this sometimes on the original artwork pages. That's where I was testing the nib, and then knew that I would be covering that area up with black, but it's a slightly different ink. And with this lighting, it really stands out. Which normally, you know, you don't want to see that stuff, but since we're looking at the original artwork for the sake of the original artwork, that's what it comes with. So you can see here, very delicate on the hair. These were the years where I was trying to perfect hair as an inker and sort of as a penciler as well. I was trying to, you know, get into understanding how to break it up into chunks, and then you take those chunks and you do the thin lines inside those chunks. And he's sort of lit from all around, but you can tell there's a dominant light source coming here from the computers he's looking at. We'll step back for a second. You can see he's darkness powering up these computers. He's sort of a hostage of these people at this point in the story, and using his darkness power. So he's uplit here, and we've got a secondary light source. Now, really good comic illustrators are always going to have your 2 light sources when it works the best. And we'll see how that came out here in print. You can see the softer, cooler light coming from the back that sort of frames Jackie, in the warmer, more natural light coming up from the closer monitors. And then I always like this shot here. So Jackie has, let's see, removed one of these little, I don't know what you call it. It's like a little object, a little egg that's the darkness is growing these drugs in, sort of narcotics. Excuse me. You can see Michael Broussard took a lot from Mark Silvestri, but he still had his own style, and I took a lot from Danny Mackey and Joe Weems, but I mostly mashed them up. I don't know if I had my own style at this point. But this is all Hunt 102 nib or Deleter Mabru nib. And this is all done over the original pencils. Alright, oh, you know what? We're going to go back and forth here for a sec. Let me bring up the comic page and we can see how that looks. So there's the inks. And there's Matt Milo's colors. The only bummer about the colors is they printed much darker than intended. When you saw these on the monitors, for instance, this character's face, I forget her name right now, but these transitions were much softer. As you can see in the pencil and ink, she's not that harsh. A lot of open space. So Matt did a great job, but yeah, it printed really dark. They looked amazing on the monitor. I always liked doing that sort of background energy hatching like that. This sort of implies camera movement and a light shift, and it's just kind of fun with the brush. So this looks like it was half brush, half nib on this part. And this little guy in the background, tiny little details. Let me grab a pen, I'll show you how small that is. So there's the pen I was using. Give you a sense of scale. And then the escape. Got what they needed, now they're running away. And I always loved the way Michael did stuff like the folds and pants and then the rendering over it here. I always had a lot of fun doing those techniques over him. And he was really good about things like this, where the highlight of the pants comes in like this. And of course the colors, actually you didn't even have to do much, because this foreground figure, you almost want it silhouetted. So it's still, Michael's highlight still works, but if the colors had gone in and highlighted that, it would have drawn attention to that. And you really kind of want attention to the figures moving through here. Matt did a good job of that. And I always, I always love doing water splashes too. Like the breaking up of all these circular shapes is kind of fun. And if we look close here, this is actually, let me get in there. That's nib and brush. I believe I did brush first on these heavy lines and then went in with a nib and did the secondary hatch, but you can go back and forth with that. So as I'm looking over this, I'm starting to see more places that I used brush than I originally thought. And let's do a sort of side by side here. Alright, there you go. That's our latest episode of Page and Print. I'm going to try to do these more often. I hadn't done one in a while. And this shipping these out kind of reminded me that these episodes are kind of fun. And they're kind of cool to do. And they're kind of fun to look at the original art and remember how I put them together. Maybe I should do some of these live, and then I can take questions while we're looking at it. So let me know if that's something you guys want to do down below. And let me know if you have any questions about things you saw on this page here. And don't forget to back Hammerella if you haven't. Link down below. We got about 5 days to go on that. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take it easy.